Ladies, have you noticed how dating is changing in 2025? If you want respect and the right partner hears, while raising your standards is not just smart, it's necessary. The world around us is changing faster than ever before. People are becoming more aware of what they truly want from life. And relationships, women are stepping into a new era where self-respect and personal growth are no longer optional. They are realizing that their happiness is not a luxury. It is a priority. Every choice they make now is a reflection of their awareness of their own worth. For decades, women were told to compromise to fit society's expectations, to tolerate disrespect, to accept less than they deserved. But those days are fading. Women are waking up to a simple truth. The life you want cannot be achieved by settling, it can only be built by valuing yourself fully and refusing anything that undermines your peace or purpose. Raising standards is not about being difficult or arrogant. It is about recognizing the power within you. Are not here to fit into someone else's mold. You are here to define the mold for yourself, to decide what is acceptable and what is not. Every boundary you set is a statement of who. Every decision to walk away from what does not serve you is a step toward freedom. In 2025, women are learning to honor their intuition more than ever before. They trust their instincts. They listen to the quiet voice inside that says is right or this is wrong. They no longer ignore red flags or dismiss discomfort for the sake of comfort. They understand that emotional safety is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without it, no amount of charm or words can make a partnership last. This shift is not just about relationships, it is about life itself. Women are beginning to see connection between the people they allow in their lives and the energy they experience daily. They know that low standards invite chaos and frustration, while high standards create clarity and growth. They are learning that demanding respect is not selfish. It is necessary for their mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Many women are also realizing that independence changes everything. With financial freedom and personal growth comes the power to choose wisely. They are no longer seeking validation from others. They are building lives they love and attracting partners who complement rather than control or diminish them. This independence gives them confidence to stand tall and demand the love and respect they deserve. Raising standards requires courage and commitment. It means saying no when it is easier to say yes. It means walking away when staying feels comfortable but ultimately harmful. It means trusting that the right people will come into your life at the right time and that waiting for them is far better than settling for less. Every step in this direction strengthens self-belief and creates a life filled with authenticity. The change we see today is also fueled by knowledge. Women have access to more information about relationship psychology and human behavior than ever before. They are learning what patterns lead to happiness and which ones lead to repeated disappointment. They are applying this knowledge not just to avoid pain, but to actively create joy and deep fulfillment in their connections. As women raise their standards, they also inspire those around them. Families, communities, and even future generations benefit from their choices. Their courage to demand respect sets a new benchmark. It teaches others that love is not something to beg for, it is something to beg for. Do experience fully when it is given freely and sincerely. The world is watching this transformation. Women are no longer quiet participants in their lives. They are taking control. They are making conscious decisions about who deserves their time, energy, and love. The era of complacency is over. The era of conscious choice and self-respect has begun. If you stay with this video until the end, you will discover the key principles that can help you not just to raise your standards, but maintain them with confidence. You will understand the psychology behind why high standards attract the right kind of people and repel those who are not meant for your life. You will leave feeling empowered, inspired, and ready to take action in your own relationships. This is the beginning of a powerful journey, a journey where knowing your worth and demanding respect is not optional. It is essential. The shift has begun, and 2025 marks the year women truly claim their power in relationships and in life. Women are beginning to understand that self-awareness is the foundation of every decision they make. They are taking the time to reflect on who they are, what they want, and what they will no longer tolerate. Knowing your value means recognizing that your time, energy, and emotions are precious resources and that not everyone deserves access to them. This understanding brings clarity. Women are realizing that their worth is not determined by approval from others. It is defined by how they treat themselves and the standards they uphold. They are learning to ask themselves tough questions. What kind of love do I deserve? Who deserves my attention? Which relationships lift me up? And which ones drain me? This honesty allows them to create boundaries that protect their peace. When a woman knows her value, she stops seeking validation outside herself. She no longer waits for someone else to tell her she is enough. She recognizes her strengths, her achievements, and the qualities that make her unique. This confidence radiates and naturally attracts people who respect and appreciate her rather than those who try to take advantage or undermine her. Knowing your value also means letting go of guilt or fear that used to keep them in unhealthy situations. Women are learning that saying no is a sign of strength and saying yes to what aligns with their goals is a path to fulfillment. They are choosing partners, friends, and opportunities that match the energy they put out instead of settling for convenience or familiarity. This shift is not just emotional, it is psychological. Women who know their worth experience less anxiety and more peace. They make decisions from a place of empowerment rather than fear. They understand that every choice is a reflection of self-respect and that compromising their standards compromises their happiness. By embracing their value, women are setting a new tone for relationships. They are showing that respect, loyalty, and mutual growth are non-negotiable. They are attracting connections that honor their boundaries and support their journey instead of draining their energy or causing confusion. Every step toward knowing their value is a step toward freedom. Every moment spent honoring themselves is a declaration that they will no longer settle. They are learning that true power comes from within and that when they fully embrace who they are, the world is forced to meet them on their level. Settling is no longer an option for women in 2025. They are realizing that compromise should never come at the cost of their happiness or self-respect. They have learned that accepting less than they deserve only leads to frustration, disappointment, and regret. The days of tolerating disrespect or ignoring red flags are over. Women are becoming more selective because they understand the long-term impact of their choices. Every decision about relationships, friendships, or opportunities shapes their emotional well-being. They are choosing quality over convenience and growth over comfort. They know that staying in situations that do not honor their worth only slows down their journey toward fulfillment. This refusal to settle also comes from a deep understanding of personal standards. Women are setting clear expectations about how they want to be treated and the kind of energy they allow into their lives. They are no longer willing to compromise on respect, honesty, or emotional maturity. They recognize that true happiness is built on a foundation of integrity and alignment. By refusing to settle, women are empowering themselves. They are taking control of their narrative and refusing to be defined by someone else's limitations. They understand that love and respect are not earned by tolerating treatment, but by holding firm to their values. They are learning that walking away from what is harmful is a courageous act of self-preservation. No more settling also means prioritizing emotional safety. Women are choosing connections that uplift rather than drain them. They are avoiding relationships filled with confusion, manipulation, or insecurity. They know that their energy is finite and they will not waste it on anything that diminishes their spirit. This mindset shift also strengthens their confidence. Women who refuse to settle begin to trust their intuition more. They understand that the right people will meet them at the level they deserve and that waiting for those connections is far better than settling for temporary approval or comfort. They are learning that patience and discernment are powerful tools for attracting the life and relationships they desire. By embracing the principle of no more settling, women are creating lives filled with clarity, peace, and purpose. They are proving that happiness is not about compromise, but about honoring their own value and making choices that reflect who they truly are. Women are realizing that emotional intelligence is one of the most important qualities to look for in themselves and others. They are learning that understanding emotions, managing them, and responding with empathy creates stronger and healthier connections. Emotional maturity has become non-negotiable. They now value partners who can communicate openly and honestly, who can listen without judgment, and who can support them during challenges. Women understand that kindness alone is not enough. They need someone who can navigate emotions with responsibility and self-awareness, someone who can handle conflict without blame or manipulation. Emotional intelligence also allows women to protect their own energy. They recognize toxic patterns early and refuse to get drawn into unnecessary drama. They can differentiate between someone who genuinely cares and someone who simply offers empty words. They are no longer willing to tolerate emotional immaturity that drains their spirit. This shift in awareness strengthens relationships. Women who prioritize emotional intelligence attract people who match their energy and mindset. They create partnerships built on respect, trust, and understanding rather than superficial attraction or temporary excitement. They know that lasting happiness requires a partner who grows with them rather than holds them back. Women are also applying emotional intelligence to themselves. They reflect on their reactions and take responsibility for their own growth. They understand that personal development is ongoing and that being emotionally aware improves every area of life, from career to friendships to romantic connections. They are becoming more patient, more compassionate, and more grounded. Choosing partners with emotional intelligence is not just a preference, it is a strategy for long-term fulfillment. Women recognize that life is too short to invest in relationships that create confusion, stress, or heartache. They are learning that emotional depth and maturity lead to harmony and stability, to repeated disappointment. The lessons from the past also teach women about boundaries. They have discovered that saying no is not rejection, but preservation. They have learned that protecting their mental and emotional space is essential for growth and happiness. They no longer compromise on respect or kindness just to avoid conflict or please others. These experiences have also strengthened resilience. Women are learning that each challenge they face builds emotional fortitude and clarity. The pain of the past becomes fuel for self-improvement and empowerment rather than a source of bitterness or fear. They are turning setbacks into opportunities to define what they truly want and need. By reflecting on the past, women are shaping their present and future. They are learning that every choice matters and that self-respect is non-negotiable. They now approach relationships with intention and discernment. They seek connections that honor their journey and support their growth rather than repeat old patterns of disappointment. The wisdom gained from experience allows women to raise their standards with confidence. They are no longer guided by fear or longing. They are guided by understanding, clarity. Lessons life has taught them. They know that knowing what not to accept is just as important as knowing what to welcome into their lives. Women are embracing their past not as a series of mistakes, but as a foundation for stronger self-awareness and empowered decision-making. They are creating a life where experience leads to wisdom and wisdom leads to the standards they deserve and demand. Women are entering an era where ambition is celebrated and respected. They are no longer afraid to pursue their goals, careers, and passions with full intensity. Ambition has become a driving force that shapes not only their personal success, but also the way they approach relationships. In 2025, women are seeking partners who understand and support their drive. They want someone who celebrates growth and effort rather than feeling threatened by it. They are no longer willing to be held back or dim their light to fit someone else's comfort zone. They recognize that true partnership is about mutual encouragement and shared purpose. Ambition gives women clarity about what they will accept and what they will not. They understand that someone who cannot appreciate or respect their goals is not aligned with the lives core. They are choosing relationships that complement their journey rather than create obstacles of unnecessary limitations. This pursuit of ambition also strengthens independence. Women who are committed to their growth become self-reliant and confident. They no longer rely on validation from others to feel accomplished. They know that their worth is defined by their actions and their commitment to their dreams rather than someone else's approval. Women are also learning that ambition attracts the right kind of people. Energy aligns with energy. Those who are supportive, ambitious, and growth-oriented are naturally drawn to each other, while those who are insecure or stagnant are pushed away. Version of oneself and refusing to settle for mediocrity. This mindset changes how women perceive relationships. They seek partners who are equally committed to growth, integrity, and purpose. By embracing ambition, women are redefining standards. They are proving that their goals and dreams are valuable and deserve respect. They are creating a life where love and ambition coexist, where partnerships are supportive and energizing rather than draining or limiting. Ambition has become a form of self-respect. Women are raising the bar for themselves and for others. They are no longer willing to accept relationships that do not align with their vision or values. They are building a future where drive, determination, and purpose are celebrated and matched by those they choose to keep close. Women are learning that boundaries are not restrictions. They are a declaration of self-respect. Establishing limits is a way to protect their energy and ensure that their emotional and mental well-being is never compromised. Boundaries define what is acceptable and what is acceptable and what is not, and they are becoming non-negotiable. In 2025, women are refusing to tolerate behaviors that drain them. They are learning to say no without guilt and to walk away from situations that do not serve them. They understand that compromise should never come at the cost of their peace or dignity. Setting boundaries is a powerful act of self-preservation. Boundaries also create clarity in relationships. When a woman communicates her needs and expectations clearly, it eliminates confusion and reduces unnecessary conflict. People understand how to treat her and what is required to maintain a healthy connection. This clarity attracts respect and repels those who are unwilling or unable to honor it. Women are discovering that boundaries are not just about protecting themselves from others, they are also about holding themselves accountable to their own standards. They refuse to settle for less than total they deserve. They refuse to accept excuses or tolerate repeated disrespect. They are committed to maintaining a life aligned with their values. Establishing boundaries requires courage and consistency. Women have learned that walking away from discomfort or confrontation is not weakness, it is strength. It demonstrates that they value themselves and their time above all else. Boundaries are a reflection of self-worth and integrity. Boundaries also teach others how to engage meaningfully. Women who maintain them attract people who are conscious, respectful, and growth-oriented. They inspire mutual respect and understanding in every interaction. They are no longer influenced by manipulation or emotional pressure. By treating boundaries as sacred, women are elevating the quality of their connections. They are creating an environment where love, respect, and support are standard rather than optional. They are building a life where their energy is protected, their values are honored, and their relationships reflect the highest version of themselves. Women are realizing that true happiness begins from within. They are learning that relying on someone else for fulfillment only leads to disappointment and frustration. Happiness is not something to be earned from a partner or validated by others. It is cultivated through self-love, self-care, and personal growth. In 2025, women are prioritizing their own joy and peace. They are investing in their passions, nurturing their minds, and caring for their emotional well-being. They understand that a fulfilled woman attracts the right kind of energy and the right kind of people into her life. When happiness comes from within, it radiates outward and sets a standard for every connection. Focusing on inner happiness also changes the way women approach relationships. They no longer settle for someone who fills a temporary void. They seek connections that complement their life rather than complete it. They understand that love should enhance their already fulfilled life, not define it. Women are learning that self-love is not selfish. It is essential. By valuing themselves and prioritizing their own happiness, they create a foundation of strength and clarity. They are able to make decisions from a place of empowerment rather than fear or dependence. Inner happiness also strengthens resilience. Women who are content and grounded in themselves are less likely to be swayed by manipulation or superficial charm. They can recognize who truly aligns with their energy and who does not. They are learning that peace and joy are non-negotiable standards. By focusing on their own fulfillment, women raise the bar for every relationship. They attract partners who respect their independence, support their growth, and contribute positively to their lives. They no longer compromise their peace for temporary comfort or validation. Happiness from within creates a life of clarity and purpose. Women are learning that when they prioritize themselves, they naturally attract respect, love, and alignment. They are building relationships from a foundation of strength, confidence, and joy rather than neediness or dependence. This commitment to inner happiness empowers women to live fully and intentionally. They are creating a life where their energy is protected, their joy is sacred, and every connection is chosen with awareness and love. Women are realizing that high standards are not a sign of arrogance. They are a reflection of self-respect and the value they place on their time, energy, and emotions. Maintaining standards is a way to protect themselves from relationships and situations that do not align with their worth. In 2025, women are choosing carefully who they allow into their lives. They understand that not every connection deserves their attention and not every opportunity is worth their energy. They are learning to say no to what diminishes them and yes to what uplifts them. This discernment strengthens their confidence and reinforces their sense of self. Standards also act as a guide. Women know that setting clear expectations for behavior, respect, and continuous commitment helps filter out those who cannot meet them. They are no longer willing to compromise on honesty, kindness, or emotional maturity. They are choosing connections that honor their values and contribute positively to their growth. By upholding their standards, women send a clear message to themselves and others. They demonstrate that they value themselves enough to refuse anything that undermines their peace or dignity. This approach empowers them to maintain clarity and control over the quality of their relationships. Standards are not rigid rules. They are principles that protect a woman's mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. They allow her to engage in relationships with intention and awareness, rather than settling for what is convenient or familiar. Standards ensure that every connection contributes to fulfillment rather than stress. Maintaining high standards also the woman's self-esteem. When she refuses to accept less than she deserves, she reinforces her belief in her own worth. She becomes more confident in making decisions and trusting her intuition. She learns that respect is earned by standing firm in her values, by reflecting self-respect. Through high standards, women are creating a life of clarity and purpose. They attract people who match their energy and vision and repel those who cannot align with their values. Every choice made in alignment with their standards reinforces self-worth and sets the foundation for healthier, more fulfilling connections. Women are learning that clarity is more valuable than compromise. They are realizing that knowing exactly what they want allows them to make decisions with confidence and purpose. Compromise can be useful in small matters, but when it comes to respect, love, and personal boundaries, it becomes a trap. In 2025, women are choosing to define their desires and expectations clearly. They understand that vague standards or fear of confrontation often lead to disappointment. By knowing what is acceptable and what is not, they eliminate confusion and avoid unnecessary heartache. Clarity allows them to engage in relationships with intention rather than uncertainty. This clarity also strengthens self-trust. When a woman knows her worth and her boundaries, she is less likely to be swayed by temporary charm, manipulation, or pressure. She makes choices that align with her values and vision rather than reacting out of fear, loneliness, or insecurity. Women are also women. Learning that clarity attracts the right connections, energy aligns with energy. Those who respect and understand their standards are naturally drawn to them, while those who cannot match their clarity are repelled. This ensures that their relationships are supported. Respectful and growth-oriented, choosing clarity over compromise empowers women to walk away from situations that do not serve them. They are no longer willing to settle for vague promises or inconsistent effort. They understand that temporary comfort is not worth sacrificing long-term fulfillment, and self-respect clarity also provides peace of mind. Women no longer second-guess their choices or accept relationships that create ongoing stress. They approach each connection with awareness, knowing that their decisions reflect their value and their vision for the life they deserve. By prioritizing clarity over compromise, women are raising their standards and reinforcing their self-worth. They are building relationships that are honest, intentional, and aligned with their personal growth. Every choice made with clarity becomes a declaration of strength, confidence, and respect for themselves and their journey. Women are discovering that emotional strength is one of the most important qualities they can develop. It is the ability to handle challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. Grace and resilience. Emotional strength allows them to maintain their peace and clarity even in difficult situations. In 2025, women are prioritizing inner fortitude. They are learning that true power comes from within, and that relying solely on external validation or support can leave them vulnerable. Emotional strength helps them navigate relationships with awareness and confidence. It allows them to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Women are also recognizing that emotional strength attracts the right kind of people. Those who are mature, supportive, and growth-oriented are drawn to someone who can maintain composure and clarity under pressure. Emotional strength becomes a magnet for respect and meaningful connections while repelling negativity and chaos. This strength is not about suppressing emotions. It is about understanding and managing them effectively. Women are learning to acknowledge their feelings without letting them control their decisions. They are able to express themselves honestly while maintaining boundaries and protecting their energy. Emotional strength also fosters resilience in the face of challenges. Women who to develop this quality can recover quickly from setbacks and learn from difficult experiences rather than allowing them to create lasting fear or doubt. It builds confidence and reinforces the belief that they are capable of handling life's obstacles without compromising their standards. By cultivating emotional strength, women are raising their standards for every aspect of life. They are no longer willing to tolerate instability, immaturity, or inconsistency. They demand relationships that are rooted in respect, trust, and mutual growth. Emotional strength gives them the courage to walk away from what does not serve them and to invest fully in what aligns with their values. In 2025, emotional strength has become a key pillar for women seeking meaningful connections. It empowers them to engage with others from a place of clarity, authenticity, and confidence. It ensures that their relationships are balanced, supportive, and enriching. Rather than draining or chaotic, emotional strength, self-awareness, and boundaries have become the pillars of this bright future. Women are learning that when they protect their energy, value their worth, and maintain high standards, they create relationships filled with respect, trust, and mutual growth. The world is changing because women are changing. Their choices are shaping a culture that values self-respect, clarity, and intentional living. They are teaching by example that happiness and fulfillment come from within, and that true love is experienced when both people bring their best selves to the connection. In this future, women are not asking for too much. They are asking for the right things. They are choosing partners who honor them, relationships that nurture them, and lives that reflect their highest potential. They are proving that when you know your worth and refuse to settle, the possibilities are endless. The future is bright because women are leading with their standards, their strength, and their clarity. They are creating lives where love, respect, and growth are not optional, but the foundation of every connection. They are stepping boldly into 2025 and claiming the lives and relationships they deserve.